What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back with another superstar from the sport of mixed martial arts. Danny Sabatello joins us today. He's going to be fighting on Friday, April 21st in Hawaii for Bellator's fight card, Bellator 294. And the fight's going to be seen on Showtime as always. Well, welcome back to Junkie Radio, Danny. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. How you guys doing?
I've been better, but hey, I'm happy to be alive and doing this job that I love to do, covering you outstanding fighters. I've always been a fan of you. I look at you, for example, versus your opponent, Marcos Breno, excuse me. You know, he's got a couple more wins than you, same amount of losses. I don't even know who the hell that guy is. I know who you are, though, and that's because you put yourself out there, whether it's win or lose, and most of the time it's winning, and I love that shit, man. And that's why I love covering fighters like you that make me feel something. You know what I mean? Do you find the same way that either way, no matter what buttons you push, whether they're cheering or against you, like it still makes this even more worth the walk to that cage?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for starters, it just works out for me because I have a very exciting personality. I'm very grateful that I don't have to be anybody that I'm not. One thing that I do love is I love fucking talking shit. And obviously that's good for the sport. One thing that this is showbiz. You got to get people excited for the fight. And what better way to get people excited for the fight than have two people fucking hate each other? One thing I hate about this sport sometimes is a lot of times these guys go out there and they're buddy with each other and they're friends and they're hugging before the fight and they're showing so much respect. And it's like, who the fuck wants to see that? Nobody wants to see that. I would rather watch a bar fight with two people that fucking hate each other, trying to kill each other, than two people that are friends and trying to fight each other. So, that's one thing with me that you'll never have to worry about. I'll always have to hate the guy that I am fighting. And that's not fake. That's a mindset that I have to go in there and in the cage. And that's something that I have to do. If I'm ready for the fight, then that means that I fucking hate the guy and I want to fucking kill him. That's how I know I'm ready, is that I go in there and I want to just absolutely rip his fucking face off. I have to be like that. And obviously I do like talking the trash. I do believe in the mind games. Obviously it's fun for the fans to see, but I think that there is a lot to it. With this guy coming up, Marcos Breno, April 21st in Hawaii, I think I'm going to be able to get in his head. He's a little bit younger and he hasn't really fought somebody like me where, I'm a big name. There's going to be a lot of pressure for him. There's going to have a spotlight on him and a lot of eyes on him. And I think he'll crumble under the pressure. I'm a guy that tries to create pressure. I try to create a lot of eyeballs, and I want people to fucking feel the heat. That's one thing that's going to happen in this fight. He's going to come out there in the first round and try to be crazy and try to get this quick finish and just have his claim to fame that he beat Danny Sabatello, a massive name. But I'm going to be cool, calm, collected. I'm a fucking veteran. I've done this a zillion times. I've had so many fucking fights inside the cage and outside the cage. And I'm just going to fucking tear him apart, and I'm going to beat the shit out of him.
Have the announcers at the pre-fight meeting or the executives pre- and post-fight ever just pulled you aside and given you an extra squeeze, a good handshake, kind of like a wink saying, you get it, my man. You're the type of guy we love to promote. Have you ever gotten that connection as well from them?
Yeah, I have a very strong connection and very great relationship with everybody in Bellator. One thing that they do see is my charisma and, my potential in this sport. We've only scratched the surface. We're only getting started here. But obviously they're very grateful for me and I'm very grateful for them. This is a perfect relationship. I'm trying to make Bellator bigger and better than it's ever been. I want to make this promotion absolutely massive. I want to be the face of it. And they're providing me the platform, so it's very good for both of us. Obviously, I'm very good for the sport. I'm very good for Bellator. But, none of this shit happens if I don't fucking win. You can talk all this trash, but if you go out there and you're not very skillful and you're not very good with your technique, then people aren't going to get behind you. Nobody wants to get behind a fucking loser. Nobody wants to see losers talking shit. So first things first, I got to go out there and I have to fucking perform, and I have to perform very excitingly. I got to go out there and beat the shit out of these guys. I got to get my hand raised, and I take that very seriously. I go to the best gym in the world, American Top Team, every day, twice a day. That's to get myself better and make sure that I am fucking winning these fights. If I can talk all this shit, but I can't back it up, it means nothing. I don't have the fans behind me. I don't have people fucking tuning in for my fights. So it's a combination of being myself, being exciting, talking the shit, but also going out there and fucking being exciting and winning these fights. So I think Bellator knows that they, hit jackpot with me. I'm the golden goose of this promotion. I'm becoming the face of this promotion, but I just got to keep doing what I do, and that's talk shit, be exciting, and win fights.
Yep. I love it. All right. One more thing I wanted to follow up on the mental game. You seem to have a good grasp on it. And I think a lot of it comes from wrestling, man. Wrestling just conditions MMA athletes to be tough and push beyond limits. But your antics, we'll call it, your trash talk, have you, where do you think you can strike a chord with opponents that it responds during the fight? Do you see them maybe panicking or just doing stuff they normally wouldn't do? Is that what you mean by throwing them off their game?
Yeah, well, for starters, inside the fight, if I'm talking to them and I'm letting them know that I'm coming for their head and I'm not even going to slow down, it does really something to your toll of your body and you kind of slowly start to quit. One thing that's massive in this game is conditioning. And if between rounds I'm fucking talking shit to this guy in his ear, knowing that I'm not tired at all, that makes him a little bit more tired. You know, the one thing that people want to see in their opponent is them tired, so they think they'll slow down and that'll make it an easier fight for them. Inside the fight, if I remind them that I'm not tired and I'm going to keep coming for their fucking head all 15 minutes of the fight, it does something to them. They slowly start to break. I have some veteran things that I do say inside the fight to try to get in guys' heads. Because you know what? This is very mental. This game is fucking crazy. You know, it's a crazy thought to know that you're going inside the cage in front of thousands of fucking people watching you and you might die, you might paralyze, or you could kill or you could paralyze somebody. So obviously a lot of thought goes into this game, some scary thoughts, some great thoughts. You know, the bottom line is I want these guys thinking, the brain can be your worst enemy at a lot of times, especially in very high pressure situations. And if I can get this guy fucking just thinking, if I could just say something here and there where he's thinking, oh wow, why would he say that? Or, just thinking these negative thoughts, then that's a win in my book. And even before it gets to that point, I like to have these things said and have in their mind even before the fight even starts to get them thinking even before the fight. Because I do believe a lot of the times with these fights, the fight is won before the fight even starts. You know, if you can get inside a guy's head and have them not perform to the best of their ability, then you already won that fucking fight. And I see myself doing that with this fight specifically. I think I'm going to be in his head, and he's going to overcompensate. He's going to try to act like I'm not in his head, and he's going to act like he's happy and excited for this fight. And he might even talk a little bit of trash, but little does he know I fucking got him. If he comes into my world where I'm fucking comfortable, where this is just another day to me, then I already know I got him because this is foreign territory to him.
Danny, this intensity, does it transfer over to just about everything? If we were playing checkers or video games, even when you were younger, did you always have this kind of intensity towards any type of competition?
Yep, absolutely. I'm a very intense, passionate, and motivated fucking guy. You know, one thing I love in this world is winning. And in order to win, you got to be passionate about something. You got to love something. You got to be dedicated to it. And that's how you fucking get better. You know, the bottom line is I fucking love fighting. You know, I got into this game not for the money, not for the fame, not for anything other than the love to beat the shit out of somebody. And that's just always going to be me. That's always been me. You know, since the day I was born, I got into wrestling just because I like dominating and beating another fucking man in something, mano y mano, macho. And it transpires greatly into MMA. You know, I think the aggressive guy usually wins. The guy that is very intense and has dedicated his life to a sport is usually the one that wins. You know, I'm very grateful that I love this sport and I go to practice every day, very excited. You know, I look forward to practice. I don't think, oh God, it's practice today. I might get go hit in the face. You know, I wake up in the morning and I'm so fucking excited. It seems like fighting is also one of my hobbies. You know, it's one thing that I love doing. You know, a lot of people like going out at night, which I do too. Nobody fucking parties harder than me. But I also love going in the gym and getting better at beating the fuck out of somebody. So it's just who I am. And it's very good. It'll only me that I'm just getting better and better at this sport. If I keep this intensity, keep this hunger, and keep this drive just to become the best fighter that ever lived and get that fucking strap around my waist.
What kind of teammate would you say you are? American Top Team is a big gym. What kind of type of teammate do you feel you are? And who's the teammate that maybe pushes you the same way you push them?
Yeah, a very loyal teammate. You know, one thing that I do love is my fucking teammates. I don't really give a fuck about anybody in this game other than my teammates. I certainly don't give a fuck about any other bantamweight out there. In fact, I fucking hate them, all of them, regardless of any promotion. I want to beat the fuck out of all of them. But I'm a very good teammate. I'm very nice to my teammate. You know, a lot of people see my interviews and see the way I carry myself, and they think that I'm just an asshole to everybody. That's just not true. You know, I'm very good to my friends, family, and teammates, coaches. It's only the people that I don't fucking like is I'm a fucking piece of shit too. But you know what? I should be. You know, I'm going inside of the cage potentially with these fucking guys. Of course, I'm gonna fucking try to rip your head off and talk shit. But in the gym at American Top Team, I'm very nice. You know, I try to help everybody. You know, very buddy with all these guys. I got all these guys back. You know, if one of my teammates is fighting that weekend against a guy, I have his back times 10. I fucking hate the guy that he's fighting. A lot of these other fighters really aren't like that. They're not really team oriented, but I am very team oriented. I love having my guys back, and I kind of thrive off loyalty. I love and get motivated by loyalty. One guy that is similar to me is Jorge Masvidal, who just retired after this weekend after having an amazing career. You know, he's been in this game for 20 years. He's been fighting the top talent, so he's obviously very good, just like myself, so we're very skillful. And he also was very exciting. People want to see him fight, and that's the same thing with me. But one thing with Jorge that everybody knows is he's like the nicest fucking guy in the world. He is the team captain at American Top Team. He's somebody where right when I got to American Top Team and I had no fights under my belt, I was pretty much a nobody. And he was already having massive fights against Askren and all that. And he stopped and he actually helped me after a lot of practices, just me and him working one-on-one. Right when I got to American Top Team, we kind of clicked, and he helped me for no other than him just wanting to see me succeed. And you know what? I hope someday later in my career that I could help somebody coming up just like myself, because I owe a lot of my success to Jorge Masvidal, and I'm very happy that he had the career that he did.
Damn, man, we do a lot of interviews, but you're hitting a 10 right now. We love talking to you. Let me ask you this. Look, it's April right now. How do you forecast the rest of the year? What's the perfect scenario for you?
Yeah, the good thing about me is it's very exciting for me, especially with the addition of Patricio Pitbull now coming down to bantamweight. He finally has that fight announced and it's official against Sergio Pettis. I think Patricio Pitbull beats Pettis. You know, Pettis isn't very fucking good. I think even if Patricio Pitbull has a bad weight cut and doesn't really perform as good, the fortunate thing for him is that Pettis fucking sucks. So even on a bad day, I think he beats Pettis. And then I think the winner of Rafian Stotts versus Patchy Mix would fight Patricio Pitbull for the belt. So that I think that just means that after I beat the shit out of Marcos Breno, I get one more fight, maybe mid-year, maybe mid-summer. And then I think I fight for the belt again. You know, it'd be one thing if I went out there against Rafian Stotts and I got dominated and it showed that, you know, I need a lot of work in order to get a title shot or whatever. That's not the case. Most people had me winning that fight. You know, I know I won that fucking fight. So I think I beat the shit out of Marcos Breno very violently. Fucked that dude up. Beat the shit out of him. I get one more high-level fight. Don't know who. Doesn't fucking matter who. They're all fucking scrubs. And then I think I do fight for that belt, whether it's Stotts or Patricio. It doesn't matter. It'll be an absolutely mega massive fight. You know, a lot of people think that Patricio Pitbull is one of the MMA GOATs. So that's just very exciting to me. I think a fight between me and Patricio Pitbull, a guy who's accomplished a lot in this sport, a guy that talks trash also, would just be an absolutely super mega fight for Bellator. It'd be one of the biggest fucking fights. They could hype it up. I get so excited thinking about that potential fight. I think it's massive. I think that fight takes place hopefully at the end of 2023, but if not the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024. So I think kick the shit out of Marcos Breno, get one more W, and then get that fucking belt.
I love it. I'm pumped up for all of that. And you're right. Patricio Pitbull Brady is one of the all-time greats for sure. That guy's accomplished a lot. He's got multiple titles, title defenses, quality wins. So yeah, that would be a nice feather in your cap. And I did want to say one last thing. I agree with Goose. Excellent interview. I love the passion, and that's why we look forward to talking to you. But I wanted to give you props. You said something that a lot of people in this sport don't get. Masvidal reached down and pulled you up. And I like that you said one day I'd like to do the same thing. That's what will help build this sport. And I like that you kept it 100. Masvidal is also one of our favorites, and it didn't surprise us one bit to hear that he was a quality teammate to you, you know, when you first got there. So that was awesome to hear, and you peeling back the curtain and telling us about it. Danny, thank you as always for the time. Always a great chat with you. We look forward to your fight coming up here on April 21st on Showtime. Versus Marcos Breno, and hopefully we can talk to you again in the future.
Yep, absolutely. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for having me.